everyone surfs just about on the coast, and I went to a conference over here at the Currumbin Century, and they spoke about it. I think it was the Surf Cities conference, and just hearing like the revenue it brings in and how many tourists come and how many people surf, and it was just mind-blowing how important surfing is for the Gold Coast. I think the figures were something like 3.3 billion in revenue, 11 million tourists a year, 27,500 jobs in the surfing industry just on the Gold Coast alone.
It's the new generations coming through that will be the market for the surf industry.
Surfing has got this multi-million-dollar industry, you know, like making those boards that we use today, the shorts and the costumes that they're all, it's all big companies, and all those big companies, they are all sustained by us as surf schools, keeping these people starting.
Yeah, you just think of all the surf schools from, obviously Stratty down to D-Bar, all their employees, all the surfboard manufacturers, all the retail surf shops. It's just huge. Like, we live and breathe surfing on the Gold Coast.
It starts with our surf. I mean, the Gold Coast is a surfing destination. It's on the map as having some of the best, sand bottom point breaks in the world.
The sand pumping from Tweed Heads coming around onto the, onto the Gold Coast beaches as far as Snapper Rocks and Greenmount. That has provided probably 4 or 5 extra breaks along that beach there.
The surfing population has really dramatically increased. That's also put a dramatic increase in what we need to produce for surfboards.
So we have guys flying in from New Zealand, flying here specifically to buy product to take off because of where the airport's situated. It's like having a restaurant in the right area, the right street, and you've got the flow and the volume of people coming. That's one of the reasons we moved the business to the Gold Coast.
You've got such a huge brand in Billabong, and that really helped put Gold Coast on the map.
That anchored the surf industry.
To get these brands noticed all around the world, you need to endorse your products with the athletes, and lucky enough here on the Gold Coast we have fantastic athletes in surfing, and we have the brands as well.
The surfboard industry has always sort of underpinned the whole thing here, and it just attracted a lot more surf brands, and people decided, hey, it's important to have a presence here on the Gold Coast. You get there's a lot of exposure, a lot of word of mouth, and a lot of surfers. There's so many great shapers here. Some of the world's best shapers and most innovative surfboards come out of this area. There's so many test pilots. to giving feedback to all the guys.
It's always been a thing for us that, our boards are Australian, making them locally for local people. I think people like that, but still we export from here to Japan, Europe, Peru, Chile.
Not only are the waves good, but the surfboard manufacturing and the ideas are good because we're riding good waves and we can perfect the designs.
With our new Aku machine, it'll cut boards up to 13 foot. Pretty much top of the line shaping machine.
The variety of waves that we have here and the team riders that we have makes it really easy for us to do all the R&D process with consistent waves all the time, and a whole variety of different types of waves all up and down the coast. That allows us to get the right board for the right conditions to satisfy the market.
There's such a concentrated number of shapers on the coast, and the performance of surfing is at a really high level. So to sort of get ahead on the coast, you've got to have a pretty well-rounded product, really.
We now manufacture fins for Almeric or Channel Islands in America, one of the bigger companies there, but a lot of the big companies in Australia that are manufacturing, they buy a lot of stuff off us also.
A big growth area for us in recent years has been shapers fins.
The guys now can have a board and they can make that board go 5 different ways just by changing fins.
The Gold Coast has really identified itself as being the alpha surf city around the world, where we not only have manufacturing of surfboards and accessories, we have all the infrastructure that goes around it.
The Gold Coast and the weather and the waves have always played a massive part on any business that's located here. We've really been quite satisfied with some of the sand build-up from Snapper through to Coolangatta that's more than proven itself over the last decade.
You know, we've always had big international events on the Gold Coast, you know, going all the way back to the Stubbies Classic in the 1970s. There's always been, you know, world class, the world's best surfers have always come to the Gold Coast for a World Championship event, and that tradition keeps going through the Quicksilver Pro.
Tourists are coming from all over the world, not only just to see the surfing contest, but to experience the Gold Coast lifestyle, because the Gold Coast lifestyle has really become iconic along with the surfboard.
All the challenges that lay ahead, I mean, the surf industry and the recreational surfers and professional surfers, everyone has to unite and really want to make this place a progressive place for surfing.